welcome back guys, and today is the last part of urban legends from all 50 states, where we will be covering South Dakota to Wyoming. South Dakota, Walking Sam, aka the Tall Man, in the Pine Ridge, Lakota Indian Reservation. This Indian reservation is infamous for being a part of the stereotypical places that include poverty, multiple crimes, alcoholism, and most importantly, the biggest problem is suicide. He is a 7-foot-tall specter with outrageously long arms, eyes, but no nose or mouth, which is known to collect the souls of people who committed suicide. He also stalks lonely and depressed teens. He is possibly the reason why for the high suicide rates or the couple of attempts of mass suicide. Walking Sam is often confused with Slender Man, but Slender Man has not been around for centuries like the Tall Man has. It is also believed that the Walking Sam does not only stalk around Pine Ridge, but around places that reek of young people's negative thoughts. Tennessee, Skin Tom in Etowah. Skin Tom was known for going around and seeing every girl he could find in his town, then proceeded to head to a different town and found his next girlfriend, Eleanor. Not realizing the beautiful Eleanor was married, her husband found out about their affair and skinned young Tom alive to teach him a lesson. His gory spirit hangs out around Lover's Lane to punish cheaters. He kind of resembles the fictitious Freddy Krueger that we know from the movies. Texas, the Candy Lady, in the small town outside of Dallas. She lures children with candy that is put on her windowsill. She then scares them by pulling out her teeth, kidnapping them, or stabbing them in the eyes. Sounds like something from Hansel and Gretel, right? Well, the story might have revolved around a real-life woman named Clara Crane, who murdered her husband by giving him poisoned candy and then was found out and put in an institution. This institution was called the North Texas Lunatic Asylum. Today is named the Terrell State Hospital. It was believed that Clara poisoned her husband because she blamed him for their 5-year-old daughter's sudden death. While in the asylum, she constructed a doll out of cloth to look just like her daughter Marcy. Clara even believed that the doll talked to her or that it was really her daughter. Somehow, she managed to get released from there later on in 1899 when the asylum became overcrowded, even though she was accused of murder. Utah, Curse on Escalante Petrified Forest, north of the town of Escalante in Garfield County. This beautiful and unique petrified wood has been around for centuries, since the first explorers arrived there in the mid-1800s. The reason why the wood was so petrified was because over millions of years ago, there was heavy rainfall and then volcanic lava destroyed the forest and eroded the wood. Anyone who steals petrified wood from the park tends to get bad luck. For example, unemployment, sickness, or getting into an accident. Even after years of stealing the petrified wood, people that were affected with bad luck mailed the wood back to the park manager. The pieces of tainted wood that were brought back to the manager were put in the Rainbow Forest Museum, so the history of bad luck would be encased in glass cases for people to understand that curses should not be taken lightly. And it isn't just a curse to steal the wood. It is obviously very illegal to steal anything from a state park. Vermont, Mercydale's Curse in Albany. It all started and ended with the Hayden family. William Hayden Sr.'s mother-in-law, Mercy Dale, tried to be the generous in-law and lent him tons of money at a time so he could use it for the family business. Instead, William stashed it away for his wealthy lifestyle and refused to pay Mercy any of the money back. Things then gone haywire when Mercy suspected that her son-in-law was poisoning her. Supposedly on her deathbed in 1806, she cursed her son-in-law and his entire family so that the third generation would be the last of their line. By 1854, Hayden Sr.'s son, Jr., built the Hayden mansion that still looks pretty good today. Jr. was also a party animal just like his father was, and even constructed a spring-suspended dance floor on the third floor of the mansion, so his parties were more popular than others. By 1927, Mercy's curse came true because the entire Hayden family eventually died from unexplainable diseases, and that was the end. Virginia, the Bunny Man, in Clifton. In the 1970s, a person in a bunny suit ran around Fairfax and terrorized people with an axe. He was said to have escaped from a local asylum, and several teenagers were found slaughtered in his bridge tunnel. It is said that this tunnel is located near the Colchester Overpass, a southern railway. His first ever encounter occurred the night of October 19, 1970, when U.S. Air Force cadet Robert Bennett and his fiancée were visiting family on Guinea Road in Burke, and parked it there for a while. When they came back with their engine running, they noticed movement in the rearview window and then had the front passenger window smashed by a white figure standing next to it. They rushed out of there while the white-figured bunny man yelled at them to get off his property. They soon found the bunny man's hatchet on their car floor. Washington, the 13 Steps to Hell in Maltby. In an underground tomb of a wealthy family at Maltby's cemetery, there are exactly 13 steps that go to the bottom, and some depictions of the story is that it was a wealthy, satanic family. If you turn around at the very bottom, you will look straight into hell. In some stories of this legend, there is even a chair at the bottom of the steps, and if you sit in this chair, you have a permanent promise to give your soul to the devil. And supposedly, these 13 steps were bulldozed or filled with cement due to trespassing of kids and teenagers. Many teenagers today bring shovels to dig and try to find these steps again. West Virginia, the Flatwoods Monster, in Flatwoods. On September 12, 1952, two brothers, Edward and Fred May, and a friend, Tommy Heyer, saw an odd object in the sky. They followed it down over local farmer's G. Bailey Fisher's farm and tried to locate the light that landed. They also accompanied two other children and a West Virginian National Guardsman, Eugene Lemon. Eugene pointed a flashlight he was using towards the light's landing and discovered a tall, humanoid-like figure with a red face that was covered with a hood. About 50 years later, investigators later debunked that the light was simply a meteor, and the 10-foot-tall monster was actually just a barn owl perched on a tree that omitted a tall, humanoid-like shadow. There are many depictions of this humanoid's feature that it is hard to tell what the true representation of this mystery creature is. The most common is that it portrays having an ace of spades-like hooded face and glides towards its threat. There's a possibility that this creature is simply an alien because many people discovered skid marks in the field where people claim to have seen it, and quite possibly the skid marks in the UFO landing, and along with traces of an odd, oil and gummy-like substance. Wisconsin, Glenn Tucker, crooked plastic surgeon, in Shorewood. Tucker left tons of his patients mangled, or in worse conditions than what they were in after performing surgeries on them. One most talked about case was from a lady identified under the alias of Mary. She went to Dr. Tucker for breast augmentation, not knowing of his malpractices with other patients. Mary underwent excruciating pain with his first surgery on her, but she then proceeded to make 2 more surgery appointments with him, hoping that it would only get better later on, only to find out that Tucker did not give her any anesthesia for any of her surgeries. He even ripped out one of her implants. She felt it all and suffered from it. Tucker had nurses that aided him with the procedures. They noticed her pain, but he didn't care about their opinions. Another case after Mary's was that this one man was experiencing arm spasms. He then found himself with no arm after all the follow-up procedures. Tucker was then figured out by the state of Wisconsin with his negligence in the medical community, and possibly tons of lawsuits against him later. He was then ordered to pay $58,000 in legal settlements. All of a sudden, he decided to fake his own death by tipping over a canoe with a remnant of his jacket from a fishing trip he was on. About 6 months later, Tucker's wife Joan got a call from his brother saying he relocated to Florida. Joan then sold her house and moved there with him. When the both of them became older, Joan suffered a stroke and Tucker was struggling with an emotional illness. He couldn't take it anymore and he doubted himself that he could take care of Joan anymore. So Tucker shot her, their cat, and himself, all by the ripe age of 81. And last but not least, Wyoming. San Pedro Mountain Mummy and the San Pedro Mountains. Many Native American tribes believe that these 20-inch to 3-foot tall pygmy people attacked them with miniaturized poison bow and arrows. Some of them were even considered to be magical healers. In 1932, 2 gold prospectors discovered the smallest mummy of being only 6.5 inches in the San Pedro Mountains, along with the 14-inch mummy, both to be considered about 65 years old by archaeologists. But is that actually true? They could possibly simply be children, but there's also a possibility that they were affected with dwarfism. Well, that was the end of that, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this last part of Urban Legends in the US. If you like this mini-series, go ahead and give this video a like. Also, tell me in the comments below this video, what urban legends from this series was your favorite? To be honest, my favorites from this series were the infamous Wendigo and Jersey Devil, along with the many alien legends. But overall, I love learning about all these urban legends. They were super interesting to research and talk about with you guys. If you guys are possibly interested in me doing some videos about urban legends in other countries, let me know in the comments below if that's something you would want me to do. This was a really great mini-series to do, and I have been thinking quite a bit what series I should do next. I do have a nostalgic 90s series in mind that will cover 90s movies, TV shows, fashion, events, and I will do a 90s video game series on my Shy Gal Gamer channel. And I want to eventually do an abandoned ghost towns and haunted places series again in the US, but obviously those are going to be separate from each other. So what should I do next, you guys? The nostalgic 90s, abandoned ghost towns, or haunted places in the US series? Leave your votes in the comments below. And after this video, I figured I would actually make a video talking about the new Avengers Endgame that just came out not too long ago. What do you guys think of that idea? Anyways, I should be going. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their day. Also, thank you guys for tuning in to this mini-series of mine. Go ahead and leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if any of you are interested in anything revolving around video games, go and check out my other channel, Shy Gal Gamer. I'm currently playing Last of Us there. Make sure to leave your vote in the comments of what series I should do next, and your favorite urban legends from this mini-series. Well, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys!